Hello and welcome to the Snow Show. This is the show about snow.
And on a sunny day, there's nothing more exciting than driving to a ski resort, seeing your first chairlift and just knowing it's going to be an awesome day.
Well, especially when you can just drive up and park and ski straight from your car, like you can here at Hotham in the car park.
Okay, well, I'm keen to get out there, so let's get started. In today's show, we take you to some exciting ski destinations.
Marcus has another snow driving tip for you about what to do after a snowfall.
So first, while we get geared up, Marcus and Ramona take you back to Japan, to Nagano.
Last time, Ramona and I had a look around the resorts of Hakuba 47 and Happo-One. This time, we're staying within the Nagano region, but we're going to get off the groomed and show you some wild wildlife. Nagano sits in the central area of Honshu, the mainland of Japan, and is centrally located within the Japan Alps, the biggest mountain range in Japan. The Nagano Prefecture was the site of the 1998 Olympic Winter Games, and the Hakuba Valley was host to cross-country skiing and many of the alpine events. To experience more of this magnificent mountain range, we teamed up with Canadian expat David Enright from Evergreen Outdoor Centre, and he had an adventure planned for us one afternoon. First, David filled out the trip intention sheet. Note how he is filling it out in Japanese. Seems impossible to me. We get prepared, then slowly but surely made our way above the groomed of Happo-One. David led the charge while Ramona and I laboured behind.
After about a 40-minute walk, we reached our summit, and below us was nothing but untracked slopes. We played rock, scissors, paper to see who would go first. Marcus won, so he dropped in first. I followed next. And David brought up the rear. It's exhilarating to get first tracks down an untouched slope. You get a real sense of freedom from being able to move so fluently in such a raw, mountainous environment, even though we did catch a lift to get most of the way up. It was an eerie spiritual experience as the clouds rolled over the ridges in the late afternoon. We took our time down the mountain as to savour every moment. It's hard to believe that this country is so densely populated when you're out on the Japan Alps.
We're going to ski first.
Oh, I'm not sure, but I'm going straight to the groomers.
Next, more of Nagano.
Or maybe even straight to Heavenly Valley.
The next day, the weather came in, so instead of battling flat light, we decided to take a day off the slope and went for a drive out of Hakuba village and discovered more of the prefecture known as Nagano. The first attraction you have to do if you ever visit this area is the monkey onsen. This is one of the best close encounters with wild animals I have ever had. You walk in along a snowy path for about half an hour, and the excitement builds when you see a monkey. Then another, and another. Then all of a sudden, Ramona and I are surrounded by them. It's unbelievable how close you can get to them. These monkeys have been around forever. Human settlement in this area only happened 40 years ago. Then it took 3 years for the monkeys to adjust, and now they happily coexist with the humans.
Just threw snot at me, did you see that?
Of course, the monkeys have trained their co-inhabitants quite well, with regular meal times and maintenance of their resort. We walked further to their own private onsen, or hot spa. This gets cleaned daily for the monkeys. Oh, they are spoilt, and they look so happy. Though I don't know if I could be so comfortable naked in a hot spring with people standing around taking pictures. These monkeys are known as Japanese macaque and have a very similar social structure to humans. We could have stayed with the monkeys all day. They never cease to amuse us.
No visit to the town of Nagano is complete without a visit to their icon, the Zenkoji Temple, one of Japan's most revered temples, and is the home of the first image of Buddha ever brought to Japan in the 7th century. When at first you see the symbol, you can't help but think of the Nazi reign of terror. But don't be fooled, because this is the mirror image of the Nazi symbol and has been around for centuries, representing mostly good things. Here in Japan, it means temple. We'd been in Japan now for almost a month and had already started to absorb the local customs. Some things had become almost automatic. Clean the hands and wash out the mouth before entering the temple. We would love to show you the inside, but cameras are not allowed. So here is the latest Zenkoji Temple tunes to amuse you while we go inside to find peace and eternal happiness.
Hey, Ramona, check this out. It says here that if you spin this wheel, it may save you from a pain or a life of pain and suffering.
Oh,
May. There's no guarantees.
oh, it's heavy, isn't it? No pain, no suffering for me.
Charlie, got your lift pass?
Check.
Goggles?
Check.
Skis, boots, poles?
Check, check, check.
Wallet to buy Ramona lunch?
Check. No!
Keep watching the snow show.
Another magnificent day in the Japan Alps with fresh snow. On this day, Marcus and I were joined by James Robb from Evergreen Outdoor Centre and his girlfriend, snowboard demon, Mami. Another hike beyond the highest lifts of Hapaone in search of untracked powder snow. James had a brilliant idea to take us into the north side. 30 minutes later, we had 1,200 metres of vertical just waiting at our feet. James and Marcus claimed to be testing the slope and took their first run. I dropped in with Mame, who just pointed it down the hill. No turning for this girl. The slopes just went on and on and on, with plenty of room to get untracked snow, despite getting a late start to the day. It's adventures like this that I dream about. Clear skies, temperatures below freezing, fresh snow and big mountains. Looking back at what we just skied gave us all a big high. How could it get any better than this?
How convenient. At the bottom of this run was a natural hot spring. So we disrobed and rested our weary bodies. It can't possibly get any better than this.
All right, guys, we made it to the hot spring. Natural. How do you like it?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I wish there were more of these around the slopes on the Australian ski resorts.
So is this water like really good for you?
Yeah, it's very, first of all, very clean because the water's being heated just by a natural natural hot spring.
It's
so,
totally flowing all the time.
and so
Really
yeah,
hot.
we're getting fresh water off the mountains into here, heated up. Keep on flowing.
It looks very clean. It smells kind of...
A bit of a sulfur.
Yeah.
That'll make your skin nice and smooth after.
We lazed about in the onsen well into the afternoon. Then to fuel our hunger, after a big day out, we celebrated at Uncle Stephen's Tex-Mex restaurant, right by the night skiing. Another great night with new friends, and yet another excellent meal in Japan, and it wasn't even Japanese. Returning to our accommodation, the Hakaba Momonoki Hotel is conveniently located in Hakaba Village, and it wasn't long before we were sound asleep. The next day, we were leaving Japan, but not without one last onsen to savour and to permanently etch the experience into my memory. I'm going to miss Japan. I disrobe and perform the Japanese routine of bathing that had become my routine. I cleansed before entering the outside pool. Then sat back, closed my eyes, and for a moment was at one with the Japanese way of life.
Back to reality and back on the road with just one last stop to see Japan's oldest original castle. Matsumoto Castle started construction back in 1504 and has stood proudly in one piece ever since, unlike many of Japan's castles that were pilfered for resources during World War II. As the sun sets over the land of the rising sun, we took the bullet train to the airport where one door closes as the other opens. The next leg of the journey is across the Pacific to North America to ride one of Canada's biggest and newly developed resorts, Kicking Horse. But that's another story that you'll have to tune in next time to see. If you liked what you've just seen and would like to experience the Japan Alps firsthand, then here is a great deal we can offer you through SkiMax. Live Nagano from $2,694 per person, which includes return flights to Tokyo, meet, greet and transfers to Hakaba, 7 nights at Hakaba Hotel, and a 6-day lift pass. Conditions apply. What a deal! Call SkiMax on 1300 136 997 or visit skimax.com.au.
Now it's time for another tip to help with your driving in the snow. Last time we looked at parking the car. This time we're looking at getting the car prepared after it's been out in the snow for a while. Now there is no one right way of doing anything. I'm going to show you a routine that I have for getting the car prepared. Did you see that? Did you see how smoothly this car door opened? Normally in sub-zero temperatures, the rubbers here can freeze on. And while you're trying to get your car door open, you can either break the handle or break your seals. I use a little bit of cooking spray just around the outside there, and it opens up smoothly every time. First up, start your engine to warm it up and put your demisters on full blast. Clearing the outside of the car. I like to start with the windscreen. Now some of you throw some boiling water on there to clear it. Don't do this because hot water with a cold windscreen can crack it. Use a scraper. Now this costs about $3 from Walmart. And if you haven't got the time or the money to go to Canada and buy one of these things, well, you can use your CD case. Now just don't scrape a small area in front of you. Clear the whole windscreen so you have good vision. Then when you get to your wipers, make sure you lift them up, clear them of any ice, put them back down, so you've got a nice clear view if you need them. Make sure you clear your lights and indicators so you can see and people can see you. Clear your side windows and your mirrors. And don't be lazy, clear your back window. Finally, if it snows a lot and you get a big pile of snow on top of your car, it is a good idea to clear it off. If you don't, that extra weight of the snow can affect the handling of your car, or as you're driving down the mountain, it can slide off when you go around the corner and be a hindrance to another car. So clear it off. Next time, we're going to be looking at getting in and out of a snowy car park. Until then, happy driving.
We touched down in Christchurch, the largest city in New Zealand's South Island. Drove the easy 1 hour through hedge-lined roads southwest to Mount Hutt.
Any adventure to Mount Hutt begins with the drive up. The gravel road snakes around the mountain, arriving at what must be one of the most spectacular car park views around.
We met up with local boy James Urquhart, who took us straight to the summit, showing us his backyard. From here you can sight the Pacific Ocean and the checkerboard fields of the Canterbury Plains.
We weren't just here for the views, so James took us for a few runs.
Mount Hutt has one of the longest seasons in Australasia, typically running from early June right through to late October. The resort is situated in one huge south-facing bowl that is serviced by 4 lifts, including the newly constructed Summit 6-seater high-speed chair, delivering you 2,086 metres above sea level.
Advanced skiers and riders will find plenty of off-piste terrain on the mountain's sidewalls and the renowned south